Rob, I've been excited to talk about this piece that we've been working on for a while here. This is our lens support for prime lenses, primarily the Canon and Zeiss prime lenses you see here. I shouldn't say it's exclusively for prime lenses because it'll also be able to work with these compact zooms, which are really nice lenses, by the way, and you can see one of the feet on here. But let me get into a little bit of the history of this thing. It looks a little odd for a lens support. As we know, DSLR cameras on any base plate are a little wonky, because the bottoms of these cameras weren't really meant to take heavy lenses, or, especially in motion where you're pulling focus with a follow focus. And so when you had a follow focus on there, it would always have a little bit of movement, and so they would really benefit from having some lens support. I know Zeiss offers a little foot down there that has a 1/4-20 into it, but it's so close to the body and so hard to get to, and you have to screw something in. And there's so little room in between here on these base plates that it's a pain in the butt to ever do, and I can see where people won't ever want to change lenses. Someone at Canon had suggested that we do a lens support for it, and right around the same time, an AC in rentals was saying, it'd be great if I had some lens support, but where I could just change the lens and not have to unscrew anything. I'm thinking, well, that's nuts. I mean, how are we going to do that? But it got me thinking, and we came up with this hook and foot method so that when you rotate the lens, it goes in and kind of wedges in there.
So there's two parts. One is attached to the lens. We call this the foot, and the hook is attached to your rods. And it just has a nice little groove that when you put the lens on and you rotate it into the locked position, the foot slides right into the hook. You still get the nice click of your lens locking in, and it is secure. No more wobble, no more messing around with that 1/4-20 underneath.
I'd never be able to get in there.
Right, or trying to get your hands in there.
Especially if there's a follow focus.
Right, when you have other things on those rails, it's just impossible to get your fingers in there.
So there are 2 feet. There's, obviously these lenses are shaped differently, so there's one for Zeiss and there's one for Canon. The beauty of this whole thing, like you just said, is that it acts as if there's nothing on the lens, so you can just change lenses, pop it off as if there's nothing on there.
Pop it off.
And it's small enough to still fit in the case real nice as well.
Trade you.
Oh yeah, all right, there you go. This is a nice demonstration, a little trade.
Size for Canon.
The magic behind it is that, like you said, it wedges into that hook and applies pressure so that you don't have any of that room for the up and down.
Right, you feel the two parts meshing against each other, so there's no looseness between them. It's a good fit.
The secondary benefit is that if adjusted properly, the foot ends up hitting sort of the back of the hook and will prevent these lenses, like in the EOS mounts, the lenses can still somehow turn a little bit when you're pulling focus. And so that also locks that movement as well as the up and down movement.
Then there's the different plates.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
The adjustability of it. So if you're using our mini DSLR base plate here, it has adjustable rods on the front that you can raise or lower, and therefore change the height of your lens support to accommodate your lens.
Right.
But if you're using a base plate that doesn't have that function, like our C300 Studio base plate here, the adjustability is built into the support itself. So you loosen these screws, you raise the foot up a little bit.
And it's probably just a minute amount, just to dial it in.
Just, one turn or two of the screw, and you've reached the proper height.
And we should say that once it's adjusted for a particular camera and rod height, then all those lenses should be interchangeable without having to readjust each time. This will come, by the way, with a pack of 4 of these with one hook. So, Rob, now there's really no excuse not to support your DSLRs with prime lenses. And it doesn't have to be just DSLRs. Like we had this on the C300 as well and other cameras. Although those are better cameras, the bottoms of them, but the minute you start to get to a longer lens, it's probably wise to support it. I know ACs will love it because it's as if it's not there.
Yeah, so if you own a set of Canon or Zeiss prime lenses, you should absolutely go out and pick up this new lens support.